Okay, what is this? This is the manual. This is the manual on the compressor procedures, how to remove and replace. And everyone goes, oh, I know how to replace parts. You just take out bolts and you throw them on. Fill it up, gas and go, you're good to go. Well, what do I have here? Why do you think this little container is here catching oil? How much oil do we have in there? A couple drops. Why do we have a couple drops in this? What is the reason why we only have a couple drops? Did it burn out a compressor? No, it didn't burn it out, thank God. It was only a front shaft seal, and it was only leaking a little bit, not even liquid oil. You just see the dye around on the inside. Inside here, if I had my UV light, this is a clutchless, so it's constantly spinning, but it didn't damage anything, so they got lucky. And but they put on the new compressor without following the procedures, RTFM. And now it's a couple-hour compressor to get this on the car without following the procedure. So I asked, did the new compressor come with a full charge of oil or completely empty, or what they call assembly lube, or just enough oil for that component? It comes different ways from different manufacturers. This is an original Denso compressor that came brand new, but before I could rely on Denso always filling their brand new compressors with the full factory charge of oil that was needed for a brand new system with a new evaporator, new lines, new receiver dryer. So if the car called for 7 ounces of oil, I knew that model number compressor came with 7 ounces of oil to be put onto a clean new car that had no oil in it at all. It would be perfect. But in this case, it's replacing a compressor. Now this compressor has no oil at all, and you might go, wow, it must have lost a lot of oil because there's no oil in it. No, there was no leak anywhere else. It was from the shaft seal, and it didn't really lose any oil. All that oil, because it ran low on refrigerant, the compressor still pumps the oil out, but it doesn't return. All the oil that should be in the compressor is up in the evaporator. And so when a technician follows this procedure right here, most technicians don't know this because most places don't teach this, that all your oil charge is up in the car, not in the compressor. So if you follow this, and it says whatever you pull out of the compressor, you put back into the new compressor. Or if you're low on oil charge, maybe you have instructions that say if you have no oil in the system, it thinks you're low on oil. That was like 1960s, 1970s kind of thinking. Unless you were educated and you knew from an old school guy. I was taught by my dad, and my dad was taught by an older guy, and this is going back into the 60s, that all the oil is up in the evaporator and the rest of the system, none is inside the compressor. And you put this brand new compressor that's filled with 7 ounces of oil in it, so now you have 14 ounces of oil in the system because you think that that brand new compressor should go on there. So now if you leave it on there, you'll have double the oil capacity, and you go, well, it'll still run, it'll still get cold, but unfortunately it will blow the shaft seal out after a really short time. You might go months, weeks, whatever, depends on how much the customer uses it. Take out a shaft seal, and very poor oil, very poor cooling performance, because now you have double the oil in there. But he might get lucky, so he ordered a new compressor. It's coming, and he's going to dump out the oil in the new compressor and see if the brand new compressor that he just bought, because he's getting another identical box, to find out, because there's no instructions in it. So he's going to find out if the new compressor has no oil or factory filled oil, and that will determine whether he has to go spend a few hours pulling out the brand new compressor he put on because it's all full of oil, and the old car has a system all full of oil and you don't want to double charge it. If he's lucky, the compressor comes with no oil in it, and he can leave his compressor that he spent a few hours putting on, and it already has a full charge of oil in the system, and I don't have to worry, and he doesn't have to take it off. So the scenario will depend on what he finds out, because nobody can give him an answer. B&W is across the street here. He gets a lot of stuff from B&W. He asked a B&W technician, and the technician tells him, oh, oil comes out when you do a refrigerant recovery. This is the level and the kind of education and lack of knowledge that this B&W of San Francisco has here. And it's really common, don't worry. It seems like the higher end the car is, the less technical knowledge the technicians have. All right, I'll see you guys later.